What's up, guys? My name's Dave.
And I'm Tommy.
And welcome back as we are coming live from Segue City. Population awesome.
I love that.
I'm glad you do, Tommy. I'm really glad you do. So, anyway, last time when we left you guys with a question. And that question was, would you rather every time you walk, you dance, or every time you talk, you sing? And also, to preference, we should have really said it a bit better last time. But when you're dancing, when you're singing, you're absolutely awesome at it. You're fantastic at it. So if you're bad now, you won't be this time. So where did you eventually land on this, Tommy? Where was your eventual thoughts on this?
I don't know. I think I might have answered it last week, and now I'm worried because if I answer it again now, it might be a different answer because honestly, it changes almost every day.
I don't think we did. I think we left it open.
I don't think there is a wrong answer because I think they're both really cool. But honestly, I'd probably go sing instead of talk.
Oh really? Why?
Yeah,
what's the reasons behind this?
I don't know. Sometimes you just you don't want to dance. You just want to get somewhere, and like I can walk somewhere and not talk to anyone, so I don't have to sing. But if I want to get somewhere, I can't be like prancing about.
I can imagine you dancing somewhere with a face like a smacked ass, just like I hate my life. Like.
And like I don't know, if I was at a funeral and I had to say a few words, singing those words would be beautiful. But if I had to dance my way up the front, I just don't think it's very appropriate.
Cause sort of like Family Guy, play me off, Johnny.
I just think there's a time and a place for dancing, and.
You see that? I'm so glad you said that as well, because I've always said like we're like two sides of the same coin, and like my answer was different. I'd rather dance than sing all the time, and like my reasons for it are actually pretty much the same as yours, but we just have like a different perspective. Like I'd much rather dance everywhere than sing, because I was like,
well, you want to dance at a funeral?
Well, like I could do like a slow jig up there, like. You want to come and say a few words? I was like, yeah, in style, baby. Like, come on, I love it. Can you imagine actually walking along, holding the the coffin as well, and everyone's sort of doing the two-step as they're walking along, holding it? Like, it would be just playing with fire. But no, like, I'd rather dance everywhere because I was thinking like. For the same reasons like you said, like imagine if you were having a really bad day, or you're having an argument, or you've got to break some really terrible news, or you're really upset and you've got to sing. Like it would get so frustrating. It's like, what would you like? And I'd be like, a Burger King. Like I'd get so angry. But
no, I think you can be sweet and sing like powerful and stuff like that. Dancing. I don't know. I suppose there's like a lot of cool interpretive dance. Some like 70s funk maybe, I don't know.
And I was thinking if you're busting for the toilet and you're spinning around and jumping around, like that's just playing with fire. That's you're just asking for trouble. But I was thinking you could always cop out and just get yourself a mobility scooter. Everyone's
like
looking at you like
too far into it, man.
Yeah, well.
So what did the good people of Segue City say?
Well, I think the comment that sort of stood out the most was from Yusuf. You see it. You said, "What's up, Dave? Great podcast. To answer your question, I would dance every time I walk because imagine someone in trouble and you dance your way to save them. Like, I can only imagine that's what it'd be like if they did a musical version of Avengers. Like, can you imagine that Hulk doing the worm like, as he's like." Oh, he normally claps his hands together and it causes like a massive quake going out. Imagine if he just did the worm and slapped his hands on the floor instead. Like, Thanos is like, what world have I landed on? Like, it'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty cool. But Anywho, so before we move on, as we normally do, we like to just talk about what we've been up to this week. And I think first, really, I should have said this at the start, but apologies for no podcast, no Segue City last week. We were both particularly busy, more so, so blame me, don't blame Tommy. It was more my bad.
It was both of us. Come on, let's share the blame.
I suppose it was both, but it was like the one day that I was free just happened to be like the only day Tommy was busy as well. So
yeah,
it was just bad timing. But the reasons why we were so busy, Tommy, what have you been up to within the last week?
Well, I was lucky enough to get to go to London and meet one of my all-time favourite directors and watch the premiere of his documentary, and it was awesome. It was great. I got to see the film I'm talking about here is The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? And basically, in the 90s, Tim Burton was gonna direct a Superman film with Nicolas Cage as Superman. You may have seen photos of this on the internet. It's brilliant. It is the worst and best thing in the world at the same time. And this documentary like explores the three different versions of the scripts. One of them written by Kevin Smith. It was produced by John Peters. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's kind of a famous producer because of how just crazy this guy is. He used to be Barbara Streisand's hairdresser. Then they married. He got loads of money, became a film producer. He actually produced some great films like Rain Man, and actually the first Tim Burton Batman film and the second Batman Returns. And that's why like he wanted to create this Superman film. I won't give too much away from the film, but I'll tell you one quick snippet from it. So when he first met with Kevin Smith about the script that he wanted to write for Superman Lives, he gave Kevin 3 rules for this script. Rule number 1 was he didn't want Superman to fly. He think it looked stupid, and he think like the special effects just weren't ready for it, and he was just silly anyway. Rule 2, no suit, no Superman suit. He didn't like that red cape, the blue, and the red pant. He hated all that. He said none of that, and he said right. And the most important rule, rule 3. I want Superman to fight a giant spider because he thought they were the deadliest creature on earth, and he wanted that to happen. And he also threw other things in there, like he wanted Brainiac, the villain, to fight polar bears, and like John Peters is batshit crazy. He used to get people in like headlocks and stuff. He goes on this documentary how he's been in over 500 fights in his life. He's just a maniac, this guy.
All with spiders and polar bears.
Everything he says is dead serious as well. This documentary was so unexpectedly hilarious. I recommend everyone checks it out. It's not out yet. What we saw wasn't actually a final cut. It was probably about 98% done, and the audio still got to be tweaked on it. So it should be out in the next month or 2, and it's just going to be available on their website. So I think that's TDOSLWH, basically the abbreviation of, not abbreviation, whatever, the acronym for the Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's wonderful. And I got to meet a director I loved, had a Q&A with him.
Which director was this?
Oh, this is his name's John Schnepp. So yeah, you should look him up. He's not really done much in the film world, but he did a series on what's it called? Adult Swim, called Metalocalypse, which basically takes like a metal rock band and like gives it it's in this set in this world where what if metal and this metal band were as big as the Beatles were, and it's like a comedy based around that. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So did he actually have any involvement in the documentary you were watching, or was he just happened to be there as well?
No. He directed the documentary. That was what he was doing there. So we had a Q&A with him after it, and the producer Holly Payne, and I just got to meet and hang out with those guys for a couple of hours. It was good fun.
Yeah, it sounds pretty badass. I mean, it sounds better than any other normal day. So
That's true.
Like, even if you're not a fan, it sounds like an awesome day. But
that really was. And this documentary as well was brilliant. I recommend everyone checking it out, especially if you're listening to this. It means you're probably a fan of superhero films and stuff like that. So even if you're not interested in this film in particular, this Superman film in particular, it's really great because you get to really see the creative process that goes into making these kind of films, and because there's so much concept art that was created for this, and there was hundreds and hundreds of people on the payroll for 2 years, and this film never even came out, and you'd be surprised how much that happens in the industry. So it's kind of an enlightening experience, just, in that regard.
Man, it's out. But you're saying like, but how much was actually put into it? It seems like it had actually got quite far like through production, like before it got scrapped. Like,
I mean, they'd had multiple like costume tests with Nicolas Cage. There was a third and final script. Tim Burton was ready to go, but what it was around this time, Warner Brothers had just had miss after miss after miss after miss at the box office, and Superman Lives was set to be the biggest, like highest budget for any film that they'd ever done ever. So they were in no financial permission to give the okay for this. So they had to butcher the script until eventually one day they had to completely pull the plug.
Yeah. Sounds like one of those things where they were going to take more and more away from it to save budget to the point where it weren't really the same film anymore. But, at the same time, though, like, despite all this, like, it probably sounds like it might have been a blessing in disguise as well. I mean, Nick
I don't know. I kind of
Cage,
would love to see it. The fact that Batman Forever and Batman and Robin exist and this Superman Lives film doesn't is kind of a sad thing. I'd much rather have, like, I don't know. I feel like the world would be a better place just knowing that some crazy Nicolas Cage Superman film existed.
Things like I like that it does. Like, if you're looking at it thinking, oh, how funny would it be? And you have Nick Cage. Like, all I'm imagining right now is Con Air Nick Cage as well. That's the only one I'm imagining in my head. Like, I'm imagining him as Superman. But then if it had happened and this was just ancient history for us, I could, like, it would almost definitely be added up to the list of Superman films that you despise and detest.
That's true. But the thing is, though, it could be like, you know, when you go through like time travel, there's so many plot holes, like I said many times before. But you go back, this film might have been so good or so bad that then we wouldn't have got, you know, films like Blade and X-Men and stuff like that from Bryan Singer, which started off the superhero films that we've got now. So it's I think it kind of worked out in a good way.
Yeah.
You know? So
and for all you know, it could have been.
I'm liking where we're at the moment.
For all we know, it could have been one of those ones that was so bad it was actually enjoyable. Like, when, you know, films like the sci-fi
a lot of
movies.
90s films are like that. Of like, you know, like Speed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of those films fall into that category.
And that's true, because anytime Speed comes on, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. Why not?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll watch Speed.
Yeah, I like that sort of stuff. So
Now, Keanu Reeves Superman film, that I'd also watch. Only if it was made in the 90s, obviously.
yeah, it's funny that you bring up that. Like, I knew you'd went to a premiere, but I didn't know that's what it was for. Because just the other day, something popped up on my feed of like casting choices for superhero films, and the first one was the Nick Cage as Superman. So when you said that, I was just like, oh, I just read this the other day.
They actually in this documentary show like cast lists that they had. So before they even you know, decided who anyone would be or anything like that, they had a rough idea of a story. They just showed this cast list for Jimmy Olsen, who, if you're not familiar, is a photographer at the Daily Planet.
Oh yeah.
Who works with Clark Kent, and this cast list just had tons and tons of like actors on there, and then at the bottom there was this like paragraph that just said "if black," and then there was 3 black actors. Number 1 on there was Chris Rock, which is brilliant.
Like, that's just so crass. Like, oh man, that's
a different time.
It's just like I don't know how to take that. That's just...
I know, and like, you know, years later, Chris Rock worked with Kevin Smith on Dogma, and at this point, Chris Rock had been given a phone call from Warner Brothers saying that they wanted him to be Jimmy Olsen, and Kevin Smith had already been fired from the project, so it was just kind of this weird connection. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
What have you been watching this week? Anything?
Well, I was going to say, just before I move on to what I've been watching, like, you know, you're saying about those like, the weird casting list. There was loads, and like one of them was like Doc Ock was Arnold Schwarzenegger. And like stuff like that in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like that was going to happen. But the other one was Jack Black as Green Lantern.
Oh, I've seen that before,
yeah. Yeah, and he was the casting choice before Ryan Reynolds. Can you imagine how much worse that could have been?
Yeah, he was the only good like redeeming feature of that film. Like god awful film. Yeah. He was a great Hal Jordan.
Yeah, it's just like, can you imagine as well? Like, he gets the ring, and like the first thing he does is make a big guitar and goes.
Oh god, I probably would have walked out. I would have walked out the cinema.
Yeah, you would do like a Peter Griffin, just put your hands up, done, and just like, there you go. But yeah. So yeah, what have I been up to? Not much really. As like anyone else knows who watches like the Captain's Course and all this sort of stuff, I've just finished uni. So whereas I'd much rather be sitting down and chilling out, I've actually got quite a lot of work to do because I'm going away. I was going to say this weekend, but as this goes live Saturday, I'm away right now. So like time paradox. But yeah, so like I've got a lot of stuff to do. But I have been, as I keep saying, I've been catching up with my Avengers and my new Avengers. I've just finished reading Infinity, which was pretty cool.
How was it?
It was alright actually. It was like, normally you know you have like the events, and you've got the main core issue of the event, and then you've got the tie-ins. The cool thing about this one, I'll say cool, it depends on, like the way I read it made it really cool, but I imagined it could have been quite irritating if, say you didn't read New Avengers and Avengers, you only read one of them or something. I can imagine how it would also be very irritating, because the core issues, like, if you just read the core issues, there would be a lot of stuff, not necessarily didn't make sense, but you'd be like, hold up, when did that happen? Like, because a lot of big things happened in the tie-ins, so it was almost as if they weren't tie-ins. The whole event was like Infinity, Avengers, Avengers, New Avengers, New Avengers, Infinity, Avengers, Avengers, New Avengers.
Do you think they did that for the story because they wanted to tell a bigger, broader story, or do you think they did that because they wanted to sell more issues?
I think it was. This is one of the few times where I'll say I think it is to do with the story. Because normally,
good then. That's good.
Yeah, because normally you have tie-ins, and it's just what was She-Hulk doing at this time, and what was Spider-Man doing. But other than the fact, because it was in space, it wasn't. It was a select group of Avengers that had been built up. Like Hickman's run of Avengers has been amazing. It had been really fantastic. So instead of just a bad guy appears, 4-issue part where they beat the bad guy down, and that's the end of it. It has been this grandiose plan. Like from day one, I had to go back and read the first couple of issues several times to think like, have I missed something here? Like, but the whole point was they introduced these characters at the start who the Avengers know, but we don't. And I thought I'd missed something, and as it goes on, like a couple of issues later, they're explaining their backstory and how they come about, and you realise there's this whole universal plan going on, and that's what's kind of cool. And as this thing did, it was cool because it explained the story, but it didn't really go into too much of the big time story, like the tie-ins. So like, if you read like the main issues, you might be like, oh hold up, when did like this bit get blown up? But you haven't really missed anything by not reading that. But at the same time, if you had read it, it made the backstory so much better. But it was kind of cool. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be, but it was pretty decent. And I'm up to the point now where you've got the new Avengers and they're like the Illuminati. They're just dealing with like the incursions, and the rest of the world doesn't know about it. And little do they know that they're actually kind of dealing with the threat, but they don't know that's the threat they're dealing with because Tony Stark hasn't really informed them all. Like, so they're dealing with these. Like, the whole thing has been about this Avengers world, and it's like they're tackling all these cosmic threats that are happening, but little do they know that these threats are happening because of these incursions. Like, they're other worldly sources that are trying to also combat this thing. Because basically, Earth is like the axis point, so if you're on Earth, you're trying to stop these incursions, but everyone who is not on Earth is just trying to destroy Earth, so the universe doesn't get destroyed. So, like, the Avengers don't know that they're actually what they're fighting, they just think they're fighting all these bad guys that keep coming at them. Meanwhile, Tony Stark and the rest of Illuminati are like, yeah, there's actually a reason for this, but we're not going to tell you. But it's really cool. Like, I've just got to the point now where everyone else is starting to clock, like, they're starting to cotton on, like, hold up, there's more to this. And, like, it's getting really cool. This is the bit that I've been wanting to get to for absolutely ages, so I'm really pumped. It's really, it's getting really good, so. That's probably, awesome. Other than going away this weekend / right now, depending on when you're listening to this, I'm really looking forward to reading that. It's going to be pretty cool. But, yeah. So, where should we segue onto from here? Because it's been a bit of a slow news week, isn't it?
Well, considering we missed an episode, it's been a slow news 2 weeks. You know, it's been... Nothing's been happening.
Yeah, not much at all, so...
I think it's because we're getting closer to summer, we're getting closer to... You know, Comic-Con and things like that. People are holding stuff back, waiting till they're going to get the most press out of everything. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah. Well, Comic-Con just went. It was last weekend, wasn't it? Well, I know it was because I missed it and I was really upset. But
yeah, I know it was because I was there. That's where the premiere was.
Oh, you son of... I've been for months thinking, like, you got to get your ticket, Dave. You got to get your ticket. And the time came, I thought, I'm not going to be able to get my ticket. Like, I'm not going to be able to make it there for that weekend. And then all weekend I was just seeing pictures of Comic-Con. I was so upset.
Yeah, it was alright. I was on my own because I went up for that premiere and I got there a couple of hours early. So I thought, I'll just buy a ticket for the Comic-Con and I just walked around for a couple of hours. But honestly, I spent most of the time with that director that was there because he had a booth there too. So I was just talking to him for the whole time. So it's kind of a waste of money for me, really.
Oh. Well, at least the effort was there, I guess. Like,
yeah.
Have you heard any news come out of Comic-Con? Like, has anything been announced? Because I know this was Marvel actually not there this year. I remember them saying it was the first year they're not going.
Not to San Diego, which is in a couple of months' time.
Oh right, I thought that was like the Comic-Cons worldwide at this time.
No, because like funnily enough, Comic-Con's not actually a company or a trademark or anything. It's they're all like owned by different people and run by different people. So like London Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, they're all like different events, but San Diego is regarded as the big main one. Yeah. Probably just because it's the California one, and that's, you know, people don't like traveling, and that's where everyone is.
Yeah, I've always, like San. I always heard that that's like the the be-all-end-all of Comic-Cons, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just didn't know if it was like if they said they're not going Comic-Con, it's like they're not going all Comic-Con like that year. Like I didn't know if it was a yearly thing or if it's just that location.
Although I will say there wasn't anything there like not even like posters and things like that for anything Marvel. There was a lot of Warner Brother influence. There was a lot of Mad Max there, a lot of Warner Brother games, stuff like that. But yeah, that's about all that there was from London.
Oh, fair enough. Well, seeing as how like we just said about like Marvel not being at Comic Con, we've talked about this quite a few times over the last couple of podcasts, so we won't go into too much detail about it because even though like clearly I'm a huge fan of it and I can't wait for it to come, we've been talking about Captain America and Civil War quite a lot, so I don't want to go into too much detail about it again, but. Seeing as how we were just talking about Marvel, it came to light recently the Frank Grillo, who's going to be playing Crossbones in Captain America: Civil War, and he was also in Winter Soldier as well. Has apparently already finished shooting his role in Civil War, which sort of lends us to think that possibly he's going to have quite a small role in the film. He's not going to be playing like one of the main characters.
Well, it could also because there's a lot of such a huge cast for Civil War. I'm thinking maybe the schedule could be really different to what's normally on a film for this one, where they've got to juggle so many actors around who might not be sharing a lot of screen time. They might be getting a lot of people out the way quickly, because I think this might be a slightly longer. I don't know. They haven't given themselves much time for a longer shoot, but maybe they've just juggled around scheduling wise, and maybe he's got a lot of just him and Cap stuff. So maybe they've just shot it all very quick. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be, one and done in 10 minutes. He could still have a large role in the film.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd really like him to have a bigger role because while it is Civil War and this does feel like Avengers 2.5, it's still a Captain America film, and like he's still more of a Captain America character since he was in Winter Soldier and stuff like that. And this is still a Winter Soldier sequel rather than an Avengers sequel. So I would like to see him heavily in the film. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I did have one idea when I heard this, and you just said that has given me another one. So my first thought was that possibly because we know there's going to be a big event at the start of Civil War, possibly with Captain America and these new Avengers being Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, and Falcon. There's going to be a big event, and there's collateral damage, probably like mass casualties or something like that. So I thought maybe that's Crossbones. It's Crossbones getting his revenge for Winter Soldier. And just goes out there and just causes mass havoc, and that's why he's done shooting, because that's like his only role in the film. Like,
that's an interesting theory.
Yeah, like they stop him, but there's so much collateral damage, and like that's Crossbones' plan. Like he's like, I'm gonna make you look like a fool. Like I want to make.
Do you think
you
he
look
would do
bad.
that though? Do you think because he? I don't know. Do you think he'd blow up a school or something like that? Like.
That's the thing is I don't think it's Crossbones that necessarily does it. I just think he causes trouble in a place where it basically makes the superheroes look like it's their fault. Like everyone's going to say there would not have been of this much destruction and damage if you hadn't gone in to fight Crossbones, if you'd let the military do it, or if you would, like if you communicated with the military or the police or something like that instead of just going in and doing it yourself. And like maybe like they're going to say Crossbones was only there as a result of your actions, Captain America. Like he never would have even been Crossbones if it wasn't for you. Like stuff like that. So
what's the name of the event in the comic? Is it Stamford? Is that what they call it?
Stanford, yeah, Stanford, Connecticut is where it happens.
The thing I was thinking of is like, how are they gonna justify that this event is so big and so, world or country changing that they're gonna have to bring in this registration act because of how big Avengers was, the first Avengers. There was an alien invasion in New York and they stopped it. I find it hard to believe that there's going to be an event bigger than that's going to justify this registration.
You see, that's the thing, is it doesn't have to be an event bigger, because you also got to think the thing that happened in the Avengers, that wasn't their fault. They just were defending, like they didn't cause that invasion. The thing that kicks off makes the Civil War happen is that they blame the superheroes. Like it's your fault this happened. Like with
but
the
we
thing
don't really have any heroes that, because in the comics we know it was Speedball and those other guys that were like filming. We don't have characters like that. I mean, the only young, naive character we're going to have is Spider-Man, and I don't see them making Spider-Man responsible for an event like that. I don't see that happening at all. Not without, angering a lot of people.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like our thoughts I was going to like get onto is the fact that we might have not someone who's young and immature, but we do have Vision, we do have Wanda. Like Wanda is technically an ex-criminal, and she's not really in control of her powers. Very powerful powers. Vision
That's true.
is brand new. He's not really been tested yet. We don't know what's going to happen. And also the main thing is it doesn't have to be an event that's big in the scale of like an alien invasion. It more has to be how and where it happens. Like, yes, they killed a lot of people when what it was I think it was Namorita. I think it was. It's Namor's cousin.
Yeah, that's right.
They tracked out. They fought a bunch of supervillains. One who's Nitro, and he's way too powerful, and they shouldn't have taken him on. And the thing is, in Civil War, it was on camera, documented. Speedball going, think of the ratings. Like they weren't thinking about public safety. They were like, this is going to make our show awesome. And then he exploded. And the thing was, it wasn't that they killed lots of people. It was the fact that lots of kids died. It was more of the context of how it happened. Yeah, so I don't think they're going to do kids in the MCU. Because,
do you not?
No, I think that's a bit too... Like, they've always been a bit... Even if there's serious stuff happening, they've always been a bit comical. And I think that's a bit too dark and nitty-gritty for the MCU. But I think, like...
I don't know. I feel like the darkest, nitty-grittiest film in the MCU was Winter Soldier. So I feel like if we're going to get that kind of tone again in any film, it will be this one.
Yeah, but even then, still, it wasn't like Dark Knight gritty. You know, it was still.
Yeah, right.
It was still MCU-ness. Like it wasn't Daredevil gritty either. You know, it was still. It had its place. But what I was thinking was, bear in mind, we saw some of those set photos from Civil War. I think it was in our last Segue City. I think it was. Where we saw Falcon and Captain America.
Yeah.
That looked
that was
like
breaking, wasn't it?
yeah, it looked like it could have possibly been in Wakanda. Like we're just speculating there. That's like completely out there. It looked like it could have been in Wakanda. So maybe this tragedy happens in a place like Wakanda. Because actually, this is actually a perfect time to say this as well. But there have actually been some more set photos of Crossbones and Captain America and Falcon and Scarlet Witch and I think it's Black Widow that have been released.
Yeah.
And I'll put a few of them on the screen now. As I say, rest of them will be in the description. Paul Rudd has also been caught on set as well as Ant-Man. But
and they all look like they're having just such a good time on set, don't they?
They really do.
One.
They
Which
really
is,
do.
It's really important as well. It's nice to know that these actors still have such great chemistry together and things like that. And it's nice to know that maybe the Russos are creating a really good environment. I mean, these guys come from directing comedy, so you got to think that it's got to help.
Yeah.
With that kind of thing anyway, with that kind of chemistry and a fun environment, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and you got to think the majority of these guys have already worked together on Winter Soldier as well. So it's good to see they've got that and I think, as you say, that's what makes the chemistry so good. If they've got a great off-screen relationship as well. Like if you look at especially Crossbones and Captain America, like Chris Evans and Grillo, everyone, it's them two cracking up together. Like they clearly had a great time filming this, but I hate to bring it up, but Fant4stic, all they're saying is that the chemistry between these actors off-screen is terrible, and that on-screen it shows, and that's why they had to do tons of reshoots, and that's why apparently rumours come up. I forgot to mention this actually before. Apparently Josh Trank didn't even direct some of those reshoots. Apparently they brought Matthew Vaughn in to have a bit of a heavier role on set than just a producer. So. Oh really?
Yeah, remember this is totally rumours here, so take it with a grain of salt, but.
So maybe that's why we never get any behind-the-scees footage of those guys, because they are just not having a good time, as obviously Evans and Grillo are.
And I don't know. I feel like with the Fantastic Four, if there's one thing you need between these actors, it's chemistry. And if they're not going to get that, we're not going to get a good film. I'm sorry. I'm so worried about this now.
Yeah, but yeah, well, we don't want to go down that road. We already know what leads with the Fant4stic debate, so we'll stick away from that. But
stay away from it.
Yeah, getting back to this, because there was just, I know I said we're only going to talk about this briefly, but we've opened up a can of worms. There's a few things I still actually I was going to say, but yeah, looking at some of these behind-the-scenes shots of Captain America and Crossbones fighting, it looks like again they're in the same. It looks like it's to be the same set that we saw with those pictures last time, where you see the ones of Scarlet Witch running through. Black Widow running through the crowd and stuff. It looks like it could possibly again be in Wakanda. So I'm thinking, what if at the start Crossbones has this? They go to stop Crossbones in Wakanda, and there's a lot of collateral damage. So then not only has it caused lives and collateral damage, it's also political damage because that's Americans causing damage in another country. So I'm thinking that might be another reason why the American government are like, okay, now we need to rein these guys in because they're going to start a war if they keep up this. Taking the battles across seas, because you got Age of Ultron that was in That went to that went to Wakanda. That went to, was it China? I think it was, or Japan. I could swore in Age of Ultron. Where was it actually went? I don't remember actually.
I can't remember, mate. No.
But they went all around the world, and then they went to the home of the twins as well. Like they went all the way around the world, causing destruction. Yeah, they were trying to clean up a mess, but they went all around the world. So I'm thinking that this might be the reason that kicks it off. However, man, this takes me forever to say. Like, that was my first point. After you said about like the maybe they just tried to wrap him up as quick as possible so they can move on to another actor. That did remind me of something that Kim Feige was saying, or maybe it was Joss Whedon, I can't remember. But they said because there's a lot of actors, a lot of big actors with other roles in films, it could be there's a lot of scheduling conflicts. He said they had a bit of issue with that with Age of Ultron, trying to get everyone together at the same time, flying them out to these different countries. So maybe that's what they're doing. They're thinking, right, we already have Frank Grillo, he's ready to go. We also have these other X amount of actors ready to go. Let's film all their scenes now. And then Frank Grillo might have conflicting scheduling stuff later on down the line, so he can go, okay, now Tony Stark, now Robert Downey Jr. is available. Let's film all the things with Robert Downey Jr. and all the actors we have available now. So I think it's as you say, I think it might be a bit of both, because I've got a feeling what I've said at the start is right. I think it's going to be in Wakanda, and he's going to be just at the start of the film. I don't think that's going to be him done in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think that's going to be him done in Civil War, like just at the start.
Dave, I know how much you love a bit of breaking news.
Whoop whoop! Yeah, go on, break it.
And this is actually going to segue onto the next thing we wanted to talk about as well. They've just been more set leaks from Suicide Squad. This time it's a car chase, and the Batmobile's there.
Oh, do you have any links for that? Obviously, I'll put it up on the screen.
I do have a link, and it'll be on screen for you guys now. But yeah, okay, there you go. Because we were just about talking about set leaks as well and photos and stuff like that from Civil War. The next thing we was going to sort of talk about was some more set leaks from Suicide Squad, and I think we spoke about that last week or last episode as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I think over the coming months and stuff, we're going to get a lot more stuff like that come up. So, all right, let's have a look at this sort of stuff. Is there videos or is it just pictures? Or pictures
no, it's a video. Yeah,
it's a video, is it?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. Well, links to that in the description, and I'll probably get a screenshot for you guys to be looking at the screen. So, but I'll have to give them a watch after this. Cause obviously, if I play it now, I'm gonna get loud blaring music in me.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen the Batmobile in motion. I've only seen pictures of it before. Looks pretty good. I won't lie. It's probably the first positive thing I've had to say about Suicide Squad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because you've been kind of worried about it, haven't you?
But yeah, it's the thing about Batmobile's chasing that bothers me. It's a bright purple and chrome Lamborghini with a number plate. Ha ha ha. That's not. What is that, Dave? Come on. I know you're like a big Marvel guy. Like DC's barely on your radar, but you know the Joker. You've played the Arkham games. What's that?
Yeah, I know. It's like I saw. I haven't seen like all of the ones that come out, and as I always say, links to all this stuff we're talking about in the description. But because they're all videos, so I can't really show them on the screen as much. But I've seen one of the videos in which we're talking about right now, and it was like a really, really behind the scenes stuff. Like not as good as the ones that are in the link now, but they were like some real behind the scenes stuff. And it did look a bit weird, but then, the main fault that I thought to myself at the time was it's pre-production. So there's a big green screen behind them. They haven't got any of the effects going on. They haven't got anything else. So I figured maybe it would look better when it's actually finished. But at the same time, I'm beginning to see your skepticism. I'm beginning to see some of your concern. But
sorry, I feel like I've passed that on to you. Sorry.
Yeah. Man. Is it also before we move on? Is there a bit of a? Can you hear like a rumbling in the background? It's like a bit of a sort of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear that?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was on my end or on your end.
Both, which is even worse.
Oh dear, that's not good. Hopefully it will, whatever it is, it will stop. Because it came out really loud and it sort of like it dropped down a little bit as well. See, now I shouldn't have pointed it out because now that's what everyone's going to hear. It's an annoying sort of vibrating sound in the background. But no, the thing is, it's true. Like, if it wasn't true, I would have stuck to my guns and been like, no, this looks cool. But I mean, like the picture of the Croc that you released, and you saying about like that you didn't like the original Jared Leto picture, and now some of this stuff, I'm beginning to see some of your skepticism. But I thought that before in the past though, and then when it actually came out, I was like, wow, that looked nothing like the behind the scenes stuff. Like even sometimes we look at behind the scenes stuff on the DVD as well. You think to yourself, wow, that looks awful before it actually goes up on the big screen. So But, I don't know. Yeah, like the rest of them, I'm kind of okay with, but I'm beginning to see your skepticism with Joker at least.
Well, now I feel like a terrible person. I feel like I've influenced you in the wrong. I hope I haven't done that to the audience, but I hope you guys. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Four Stick's an amazing film. I hope Suicide Squad is the best superhero film of all time. I really do. It's not like I want these. I don't want them to be bad. I'm more angry because I want them to be so good, and I'm just not liking anything I'm seeing. And you say, stuff on set never looks as good. The stuff from the Civil War set looks great.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like that does make it worse as well. When you're seeing these leaks from two films coming out around the same time, and one of them looks great, the other one looks terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna be really worried about the one that looks terrible.
Yeah, and I don't know. We're gonna have to just wait and see. It's just when it's times like this when I'm just looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, I'm really glad I'm a Marvel guy. Not. It's not like when I say that, it's not like Marvel, boo DC. Like I want all DC stuff to be good. Like the more superhero films, the better. Like I like Gotham. I am really hyped to be watching Arrow and Flash when I eventually get round to it. So I want the DC stuff to be good too. I'm just glad that I do enjoy Marvel and I don't really read DC. I'm glad that it's that way around because the Marvel stuff is just fantastic right now. So I'm really kind of glad that that's the way it's gone. if it had to, I'd much rather they both be fantastic. But who knows? We might in a year or so time be just so surprised and shocked by how awesome that film is. We never know.
Maybe. Honestly, I really do hope so. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. A boy can dream.
Yeah.
But
I'm not seeing anything to make me think that's going to be the case yet, so we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? What's coming first, Four Stick or Ant-Man?
Actually, don't know. I don't know. Ant-Man, is that July or is that June? I think it's July. Ant-Man.
Oh no, I think they're both July. Let me double check.
Ant-Man is
Vamp.
Ant-Man is July. And
Fantastic Four.
I should have made you look at August. So Ant-Man's first.
Oh.
Which is cool. That's good. So really, I should have made you look Ant-Man because making you look at Four Sticks.
It doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say making you
honestly, it doesn't matter which one's first or which one's last. I might not even see him at the cinema, although I will. But only once and begrudgingly.
You've got to see him at least once. I can understand if you don't want to see Fantastic Four or Four Stick, I should say, because you really have got to be in your bonnet about it.
At the end of the day, if I've seen X-Men Origins Wolverine and Green Lantern both in the cinema, I feel like I have to see Four Stick and Ant-Man in the cinema as well, just for the sake of Josh Trank although Josh Trank's been rubbing me out the wrong way lately, but for the sake of I don't know. The Four Stick cast, I suppose, and for Paul Rudd.
See, that's the thing. Is I can understand if you don't watch Fantastic Four because you really haven't been liking that. But I feel like you have to see Ant-Man. I personally am really starting to get behind Ant-Man. I'm really starting to look forward to it. I think it's going to be. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be a film that we said it's going to be like a Hulk or a Guardians. It's going to either be really awesome or it's just going to be one that everyone forgets, never really.
It's also I don't think I've not seen one of the Marvel films in the cinema either, so it's also that kind of I've got to really especially if it's really good. That can't be the only one I don't see.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't you rather go and watch it and go, oh my god, that was actually amazing? Then someone go, oh, it's actually really good, and then it's already destroyed that shock for you because now you heard it's really good. I
just hope it doesn't look like an Edgar Wright rip-off kind of film. I hope it's not trying to put that style in there. I really hope. I mean, what's the director's name? Peyton Reed. I hope he puts his own twist on it because as much as I don't really like his style, films like Yes Man and stuff like that, I'd much rather see that than him trying to do Edgar Wright's style.
Yeah, because that would be a bit especially if the film is actually itself is quite good. If it had that, you'd sort of be feeling it would kind of take away from it a little bit. You'd be like, oh man, this film's really good, but I just can't help but notice it's not your style. This is you're just blatantly ripping off somebody else's style this entire time. But yeah, I know what you mean. But I don't know. I'm really getting behind Ant-Man. I'm really looking forward to it. I think obviously before it was always overshadowed by Age of Ultron, And
Yeah.
I kind of understand it as well, because originally Ant-Man was supposed to kick off Phase 3. It wasn't supposed to be the end of Phase 2, and then because of Spider-Man getting added in and all this other stuff, they made it the end of Phase 2, and Civil War's kicking off Phase 3 instead. So like, I can see why it is getting overshadowed by Age of Ultron. It was never supposed to be like at the same time, or like, but I get that. But it's just like, I don't know, now Age of Ultron's done and I've watched it a few times and the hype's kind of faded out a little bit. Now I'm just like, okay, like I'm ready for Ant-Man now. I'm really I'm really excited for it.
Honestly, the thing I'm most excited for with Ant-Man is the post-credit scene. I'm hoping it's just another cool one. I mean, that was the best part about Thor 2: The Dark World for me. Seeing that, like, the Collector and stuff like that. That might be the only part I enjoyed about that film.
Yeah. Do you know what the end credits sort of remind me of? Have you ever watched like consistently like cop shows like Law and Order or CSI or anything like that? Have you never watched stuff like that?
I watched a Star Wars parody of one once.
Oh.
Called Troops, and it's like stormtroopers on Tatooine. It's funny. You should look it up.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Well,
link to it on the screen now. There you go, Dave. More work for you, mate.
I might not even do it, but I might have made you just look like a fool, I say. But like the reason why I was thinking of it is because when like there was a phase like a long time ago, where I really loved CSI, and I was watching loads of them, and programs like that, they have like, they're literally like episodic ones. Like there's a new story each episode, a new crime to solve, a new murder.
Right. Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But there's always an underlining tone. Like those shows are actually kind of cool in a sense, because instead of having to make loads of plots fit into a season, all you need is one plot, and it tells 24 episodes to tell it. Because every day they're solving a new crime, yet at the end of each episode, or near the end of each episode, the characters get pushed along a little bit more. Like their character progression, their underlining story gets just tugged along a little bit more. So like by the end of the season, they've really only told one story, but they've done it by making it go really slowly on the back of loads of tiny stories. So that's what kind of the end credit scene of Marvel remind me of. They've got all these stories, like this film, you got that film, you got that film, but there's one story that's slowly getting told throughout all of them since like 2008 to when Infinity War comes around. Like it's been literally just one story they've been telling, but by doing it in loads of different stories. Like
yeah,
that's what it kind of reminds me of a
point.
little bit. But
yeah, I like that. That's a good way to think of it.
yeah, because like you go to see Civil War and you're like, oh cool, I can't wait to see what happens in Civil War. The Civil War ends, you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what's happening with Thanos. Like, and that's what every Marvel film is like. Ant-Man, yay! Now what's happening with Thanos? Like, that's what it kind of reminds me of. But like, it's cool because it's sort of like two movies in one in a sense. But,
so what else do we have on the agenda today, Dave?
Well, there's a few things. Yeah, let's bump away from superheroes for a little bit. That was me. That was how I think. Like I turn into a bee when I think. I just like start buzzing around. But let's move away. And this is something I know absolutely nothing about, so you might have to take the field with this one. But we got our first look at Orgrim, Warcraft,
Orgrim
Hunky Star.
Doomhammer. Yeah.
So why don't you tell a little bit about this? Because I know nothing about Warhammer or Warcraft.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know the names. I know nothing about Warcraft, so I'll let you take this.
Right. So. You've heard of World of Warcraft? You know Warcraft, those games?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Well, they're making a film based off that and set in that world with the Horde and the Alliance. I think that's what the two battling factions are called. And anyway, this film's been in production for quite a long time now. I think actually a really long time, probably since about 2006. But they've only just got the ball rolling more recently, and they got a really good director on board, Duncan Jones, who did Moon. If you haven't seen that, his birth name is actually Zoe Bowie, and he's David Bowie's son. Just if you was wondering,
they call him Zoe Bowie.
Yeah, like, David Bowie's he's a strange dude, isn't he?
I'm sorry, I was completely breaking this thing up, but like, I get a feeling that like there's this theory in the world, like if you want to have a famous child, you've got to give them a ridiculous name. Like, let's face it, 9 times out of 10 it seems to work.
Robin Williams' daughter's name's Zelda, and then she did like a Nintendo marketing campaign with Nintendo for a while on the Zelda games, and like Robin Williams said that was his plan all along.
Yeah.
But
see, I mean that's just smart, you know, just work with what you've been given.
Yeah, no, like celebrities do have weird names.
Yeah,
it's weird. Northwest, is it, or something like that? Apple.
Yeah, Apple was the one I was thinking of as well. So
yeah,
but yeah, anyway,
outros, isn't it?
Yeah, we continue with what you're saying anyway.
So yeah, the ball's been rolling. They've been dropping. I think well, World of Warcraft's owned by Blizzard. That's the company that make those games, and it's such a big, beloved franchise. You know, everyone's heard, whether you've played it or not, everyone's heard of it practically. It's so like embedded in pop culture now. But yeah, they have their own convention every year. Like, never mind Comic-Con, they've got BlizzCon. So last year they sort of, this is the first time. Every year before that, it was kind of just still being worked on, and yeah, okay, Duncan Jones on now. But other than that, it's just been radio silence. So this year we got a casting confirmation. It was already heavily rumored that Travis Finney, I think his name is, the main dude from Vikings, which is a great show. And yeah, amongst others. But this is the first time we've seen what the orcs will look like. They showed like a couple of posters and concept art for weapons and things like this. But this is the first time Industrial Light and Magic, the special effects company working on the film, showed us what the orcs will be looking like. And I'm guessing the image is on screen now.
Yep.
Is it, Dave? Did you do it this time, or are you making me look silly again?
Nah, go on then. It's on the screen now. Why not? Go on, it's there.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks really, really cool. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I like it as well, because, as I say, having not played Warcraft, as you said, like, I know of Warcraft. It's one of those things that now worldwide people know of, even if they don't know what it is, they know of Warcraft. Like, they know the name, they know it's a game. But like, how was the film actually? Do you know like anything about how the film's actually being done? Like, is it going to be like completely computer generated, or is this just this character?
It's just this character. Yeah. See, I was a little bit skeptical at first, because if you take two films, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, right? Very, very practical, heavy in Lord of the Rings. Don't get me wrong, there's still a ton of CGI in there. There's a whole ghost army that's CGI. But there's still like that practical element there that just makes it look a lot more real. And in The Hobbit, it didn't have that, and it felt like a video game. You know, it felt the camera wasn't in these environments, so it felt unnatural and things like that. It was flying around all over the place, and the orcs just didn't look good to me. Like, they looked a lot better, you know, when the story was told 10 years ago. So I was very, very skeptical when, you know, they announced that the orcs would all be CGI. But the orcs have a very different, you know, aesthetic in the Warcraft universe than Middle Earth, so it's kind of expected. But now that I've seen what ILM are doing, I've got 100% faith again. I think it looks incredible, and I think ILM in general are a better special effects company than Weta, which is who works on the Lord of the Rings stuff. I mean, ILM have been pushing the bar higher and higher since, you know, 1977 with Star Wars. So I think it's in the right hands, and I think this image, it gives me confidence again.
Yeah, and as you say about Lord of the Rings as well, you got to think we've come leaps and bounds in like the performance of digital technology and like the things they can create and how realistic it can look since Lord of the Rings. I mean, whether you liked it or not, even just look at the stuff that was done in The Hobbit. Like, whether you like the CGI being used in that or not, in the aspect and like some of the ways they used it, it's still better than the Lord of the Rings stuff.
I don't know. I mean, if I showed you a shot from Jurassic World and then a shot from Jurassic Park, a lot of that stuff in Jurassic Park looks better. I think the problem isn't with the technology anymore, and you know how well you can render these things. It's how much you use it and how smart you are with it. Because back in like the 90s and, you know, early 2000s and stuff like that, CGI was so expensive and so hard to use. Filmmakers had to use it carefully, and they'd only use it when they really had to, and they'd only use it, you know, when it was hidden by, you know, different things and stuff like that. It was just a lot. It was a lot more subtle, and I think that made it look more real. Like, now they just throw it in your face, and you know, sometimes it works. Avatar, say what you will about the story of that film, is beautiful. I really like the film still. I kind of love it. I would say, but you know, that film fully just immerses you in it, and it's, you know, the environment's performance capture, it looks great. But with Jurassic World, and when you throw these real people next to these you know, this full CG like environments as well, it just, I don't know, I'm losing my words here, but it's hard to create that same sense of realism when nothing's real anymore, you know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's even worse when there is the contrast between real actors, real characters, real sets, and then your computer generated ones. Like say like if you're looking at a film, say I don't know, just for example, Big Hero 6. I mean I know it's not really realistic, but all the characters.
Good film though.
Yeah, oh man, it's a fantastic film. That's the thing I was gonna say. Is like all the characters are CGI, the whole set and everything about it is CGI. Obviously, because it's a computer generated animated film.
It's got an art style to it as well.
Yeah.
It's not like what was that film, Beowulf, where they went for like photorealistic CGI, and it was like Angelina Jolie and Ray Winston, and it just hit this kind of uncanny valley kind of real but not quite real enough. Like is it Polar Express with Tom Hanks, and he's just the creepiest thing in the world. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I never
It's
actually.
not quite him. There's the other one, the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey as like an old Scrooge. That kind of that's terrifying. Don't put that on our screens.
You know, I don't think I actually ever got around to seeing any of them, in fact. But yeah, but I know what you mean. It's like if it's just computer generated or just human, you get sucked into the world because that's how everything looks. But when there is that contrast, when you have got real characters next to characters who aren't really there, sometimes it can break if it's not done well. If they aren't created and portrayed on the screen in the same way that all the living creatures are around them, it can really break it. Like if you think about Guardians, like not for 1 second did you think Groot or Rocket Raccoon were not there. Like they fit perfectly with their surrounding and all the other characters. But that's the thing, is something like this you've got to make the orcs fit in, and from this picture that I'm looking at and you guys are looking at now, it looks like it does. Like he looks like if he was sitting there around a bunch of people, I wouldn't be like, hey look, there's a bunch of characters and that CGI guy. I'll be like, he looks like he fits. And bear in mind that's just one image as well. Like we're not actually sure what the actual moving character is gonna look and feel like, but I don't know. It looks like, but the amount of time it's taken for them to make this film, it looks like they're not going to release it until it's ready. Like it doesn't look like at any point they're rushing.
I think the film's been pushed maybe 3 times now. Because at first it was meant to be December of this year, and then Star Wars were like, yeah, we're going to go December this year, and Warcraft were like, nope, I'm not going to compete with that. And rightly so. Anyone who goes anywhere near that film are just going to get butchered at the box office.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's much counter programming that you can do for Star Wars because it's so universally, I wouldn't say loved, but at least known. Like that brand is so huge, and people are going to go see it out of curiosity.
Like I can think like the only thing you could do to try and get views is like, do you not like Star Wars? Come watch my film. Like that's, but even then you're going to get like a minority of people. So.
If you vamp for a second, I'll see what's opening the same weekend as Star Wars.
Ooh. See, now you put my vamping skills to the test.
Vamp Dave, vamp!
Do I have the ability to talk out of my arse? Will I win the talking out of my arse championship? Well, there's if any video on my channel is anything to go by, I think I actually can. But no, it's like, as you said, like all this sort of stuff. It's like I don't know anything about Warcraft, and it's like even with Star Wars, you say like everyone's a big fan. I'm actually not. I still need to sit down and just sit there and just completely mash my way through all the Star Wars films. But I'm still going to go see it. And the odds are I'm probably going to see a Warcraft film as well, even though I absolutely know nothing about it. But it's one of the things that you just
It's just
going to
be a good fantasy film. Like you kind of just, you get that feel going in, and you've got a good director, a good cast, and it's now got a good look to it, a good aesthetic to it as well. It's just going to be a fun film. Whether I doubt it's going to be an Oscar contender like Lord of the Rings was. I mean, it could be. Like I don't know that for sure. But it's just nice because sci-fi really does dominate the film world nowadays. It'd be nice to get some fantasy in there too. Yeah. Keep vamping, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I can vamp for my life. Like I am Vamp Man. But yeah, it's like it's one of those, as I was saying, it's one of those things that even though I know absolutely nothing about it, I still will go and see it. If anything, purely just to say I went and saw it. Like, because you never know. Like these days as well, I can't really think of too many films that are like these films that 20, 30 years down the line, people are going to be talking about, like when the Star Wars first came, the Star Wars. How old am I? How old am I? Yeah. Do you watch the Star Wars? Like when Star Wars first came out, it was like I was there. Like I saw Star Wars at the cinema. Like obviously I'm talking about the originals, and I can't think of too many films these days that are like that. Maybe Avatar. Possibly, maybe, I don't know, I was going to say one of the Marvel films, but maybe not. Like I don't know, but like those big films, maybe some of the Christopher Nolan Batman, stuff like that, but like you never know what film's going to be that. And so I think I'd go and see these just to say, like, this is one of the first massive games. I think it's the first MMO game that's ever been turned into a movie. So like you'd have to go and see it just for the more, like even if anything, just for historical purposes. Like
Yeah.
just
No,
think so.
sure.
Like, I was there that day, but
Right. So I found out opening the same day as Star Wars it's a comedy film called Sisters. It's Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who I actually love. They're both hilarious. I'll probably end up seeing that film as well. But that's as counter programming as you're gonna get. A female-driven
yeah.
comedy film.
I was
same
just
day.
gonna say.
And then
that-
the next weekend is the Point Break remake, which I hate the idea of. I hate it. Oh no, sorry. The next weekend is Alvin and the Chipmunks: The Road Trip. Why is that a thing?
Like I swear, like that's the sort of thing.
Yeah, they're still
Literally,
making those.
it's like they're trying to cover their market. You got like Star Wars comes out. Hey ladies, is your husband, boyfriend, whatever going to see Star Wars? Come watch Sisters. It's like take the kids out to see Chipmunks. What was it called?
The Road Chip.
The Road Chip. Like. I'm surprised they even made a second one, let alone a third one. Like.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. What was the Squeakquel, wasn't it?
The Squeakquel. That's the one.
Of course it
Like
was.
why? Like people must have watched it clearly to get another.
Yeah,
Squeakquel
and then
out of it.
I think anything released until early February is going to get butchered by Star Wars. I think there's going to be a lot of repeat viewings there,
Yeah.
mainly by me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I was only 4 when Phantom Menace came out, but I heard a lot of Star Wars fans back then still saw it like 7 to 11 times,
Yeah.
and it was terrible. But
I think that also is a thing. Like you can only see it in the like you can watch it on DVD and whatever as many times as you like. But there's only a certain amount of time you can ever see a film in the cinema, and I think that's partly the reason why sometimes I wanted to see Avengers again. And if anyone offered to take, I'm probably going to take my sister to see the Avengers or something like that as well. So it's like, I could easily wait for it to come out on DVD now. Like, I've watched it twice. I thought it was awesome. But I want to see it again at cinema just because once this goes at the box office, I can never see that at the cinema again unless they do another one of those movie marathon things. So, like, a part of me is just like, I want to see this at the cinema as the most times I can because I'm never going to get a chance in my life to ever watch it at the cinema again.
I think the film I've seen most in the cinema is probably The Dark Knight. I saw it like 8 times maybe.
Jesus.
And that was like, but I was on holiday somewhere and there was nothing to do except the cinema, and it opened while I was there, so I was like, all right, I'll go and see it. And then it would just be some days I'd be like, I've seen it, I'll go see it again, and I'd watch the next show, and it helps that it was a really good film. So
Yeah.
I've just done a bit of research, by the way. I just want to bring this up. There was Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Trip is actually the 4th film. Apparently there was a
my
third one
lord.
came out called Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. I thought I'd just bring that to the...
How have they made so many?
Oh god, it's like Marvel. They're going to get a film a year. Do you reckon there'll be a post-credit scene?
I was just gonna say that.
in Road Trip. Like,
It's gonna be like a squirrel.
Chip off the old block. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. That was just off the top of my head.
It's just gonna be a chipmunk or a squirrel or something like that. It's just picking up the gauntlet. I'll do it myself. Like...
Chip of the iceberg. No, I'm sorry.
Normally, I'm surprised I'm drawing a blank on these. Like normally, I'm good at coming up with stuff
we
like
used to
this.
call these Dave jokes. I'm surprised there's nothing from you here, man.
I don't know. I'm just drawing a blank today. My mind. I don't know what's going on with me recently. Like I'm just not thinking. Like my brain just won't work. But I'm actually appalled at myself. How have I not come up with one? That's just. Oh, damn. Disappointing in myself. Let's move this along.
Is that it? Have we burned through
Well, no, there was
many news things of this week?
there was one more thing. I guess we can do just to round this thing up. It's not really a big story, but it was the thing that was revealed about Gambit.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's been confirmed that it's now going to be, well, it's definitely going to be an origin story for Gambit, which just proves 100% that they're moving it away from the X-Men Origins Wolverine thing. I actually really liked the Gambit in that. What was it Taylor Kitsch, his name was? Who
Yeah.
played
Oh, I don't know. I just said yes,
Gambit
but
in
I
that.
actually don't know.
I really liked him.
Did you? I didn't at all. Like
You
a lot.
didn't?
No, like a lot of people obviously bang on about how much they hated X-Men Origins Wolverine. No, I didn't mind
It's
it.
a terrible film.
Like, until people started saying it was terrible, I just thought, man, that was okay. That was a good film. Like, not a great film, but like, I walked out the cinema like, cool. Like that was enjoyable. But the one thing that I remember originally thinking was like, I didn't like Gambit. Like, I just thought he was just.
Ah.
I didn't see the point. I just didn't quite get it. And I also thought to myself, why is Gambit there? Like, this is a long time ago. Like Wolverine has a long time before he meets the X-Men. Why is Gambit already grown up now? Like that was one of the many gripes that I had with it. But yeah, like I don't know. I just didn't like him. I think like
Better than the Will.i.am casting though, right?
Oh, I don't know.
No, Dave.
I don't know.
You've got your Marvel blinders up again.
No, that's not Marvel blinders. I'm saying I don't like Gambit. Like I like the casting of Fred Dukes in that. I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked him. But no, I just didn't like Gambit. I got a feeling Channing Tatum's going to do a much better job. Much better.
He's been really surprising me lately. You know, he just seemed like a bit of a. Whenever I saw him in anything, I was like, oh, that's that guy from Step Up.
Yeah, well,
that was it. And then like he kept getting these roles that was, you know, and then he did G.I. Joe, and I was just like, oh, this is it. This is his career now. Just doing these like, you know, low end kids action films, and then yeah, he got one role after another that's just made me really, really, really like him. And now he's like one of these guys that I'm just looking out for all the time. And you know, anything he's in, I'll probably see it now. Even Magic Mike. Maybe.
Yeah,
Magic
was
Mike.
it XXL or something?
Maybe not Magic Mike.
Yeah.
No, Magic Mike. It's on the list. It's back on.
See, like, I completely agree with you. When I first saw him, I was just like, oh, look, there's that dude from Step Up that everyone likes right now because he was just in the film that girls like. I was thinking he's going to be a Taylor Lautner or that guy that was in Fault of Our Stars. I'm assuming he's going to be in a few films and then he's going to fade away.
Well, he was rumoured for Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I was just like, don't do this. Like, he's just a hype right now because he was in this film that he plays this character which girls fall in love with, though if they actually met that character in real life, they would dismiss him. So, like... sorry, it was like Teenage Dave a little bit of that. I'm sorry, but
we hit a nerve there.
I'm sorry, but
do you ever... Fault in Our Stars around you, man. Jesus.
I haven't even seen the film, but, like, have you ever seen these films where, like, there's this character portrayed and girls like, oh, he's so nice, he's so sensitive. If you in real life went up to someone and acted like that, they'd be like, what a douchebag. I like the jock. Like, that's it's so...
Oh my god.
It grinds my gears so much. I remember I used to watch these films and I'll be like, a bunch of girl mates, and they'd be sitting there be like, oh, and I'd be like, what are you talking about? Someone said that to you like just last week and you laughed at him. And they'd be like, oh, he's on TVs.
I didn't know you hated Heartthrob so much, Dave. Alright, man, I'm sorry.
It isn't Heartthrob.
Sorry for going into that with you.
It isn't Heartthrobs. It's when they're portrayed in like a really normal, nice way. Like if they're a Heartthrob and they're a cool, bad
portrayed
guy.
in a normal, nice way.
I know.
You just hate normal, nice people.
No, but that's the thing.
Wow.
Like,
Didn't know that was your button.
If they are like some big brooding badass, or they're a vampire or a werewolf or something like that, I get it.
So a big brooding badass, that's your type.
No. God, no, what are you doing?
You said it, man.
No, I'm saying I get that. Like, I understand it. If you're looking at this larger than life, I'm a badass, I'm outside the law, but I've got a heart of gold. Like, I understand it. It's a stereotype. It's cool. It's whatever. But it's when the character portrays this nice, normal, average Joe guy, and he's like, I'm just a nice guy, and the girl falls madly over heels in love with him. If that normal, nice guy came up to that girl in real life, she would not, in any way, shape, or form, ever be interested. She'll be like, where's your tattoos?
Don't know that.
Where's your nah, not at all.
Right. Let's move on, because I'm sorry for putting you through that, man. I
just realised this is my Fan 4 stick. Like.
this is your Fan 4 stick.
But anyway, no, I'm Gambit. So. But yeah, like so getting back to what we were saying, it looks like Fox aren't going down the same road that Marvel are with the fact they're saying no more origin stories. It looks like obviously from this, Fox are still going to be doing the origins.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me because Fox have been consistently failing in my eyes. So if they're going to carry on that.
And you would have thought they'd learned their lesson after nobody liked X-Men Origins Wolverine, and they're like, I know, let's take Gambit, a character everyone loves, and do an origin story.
Well, I don't know. they took Deadpool out of that film, and that looks nothing but a ton of fun. So
yeah, true, but they've already messed him up once.
So what, is Gambit existing in this X-Men universe then? The main Bryan Singerverse?
I don't know. I think so, because I thought he was going to be in X-Men Apocalypse, and now I'm hearing he's just rumoured to be in it, and I thought he was a foregone conclusion. Like, the way I can see this happening right now is he's going to be in Age of Apocalypse, and then afterwards we get an Origins film about him. Like, that would make sense. I mean, let's face it, they've done it before. But I, as far as I was concerned, I thought he was playing a huge... Like, I thought he was going to be a major role in Age of Apocalypse, and now I'm hearing it's just rumoured. So I have no idea what's going on. And that
Yeah, it's
humming,
interesting. I mean, they're already shooting Apocalypse as well, so
yeah. Oh,
if
yeah,
he's in it, we'll know soon.
that was something I should have said actually. But have you seen some of the behind the scenes? Well, I don't know if it's behind the scenes, but some of the photos from Age of Apocalypse. I saw one of Sophie
Yeah.
Turner and I think whoever it is who's playing Storm.
Yeah.
I saw one of them too. I'm kind of liking the 80s look. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that makes one of us.
Really?
Yeah,
So I think
like, you know me, this X-Men stuff, it's just...
I don't know. I'm kind of liking it because they've done like
Give me Matthew Vaughn and I'll love it, probably.
Yeah,
But
like, if it was
Bryan
the same
Singer
film.
I'm pretty hit and miss with him.
Yeah. It says I like how they've done 60s, 70s, 80s. Like all the superhero films have always been whatever era it was they were filmed in.
Yeah,
And
no, I agree.
I
I
like
the period aspect of it.
Yeah, it's different. I think that's kind of cool. I doubt that's what they were planning when they first started it, but I like that that's how they've gone with it. Like,
I wish they did that with Fantastic Four as well. I wish they told a Fantastic Four story in the 60s with that pulpy kind of feel, exactly what they did with First Class. If they did it there, even tied them in together, it would have been great. When, you know, space travel was this wonder, this, you know, this impossible thing that's so close yet so far. And then, you know, they finally do it and they get superpowers with that. It was a better time for it. But now we're just going to get some dark, brooding, interdimensional, travelling, depressing piece of... Oh.
Just then as well, you turned into a robot from like the 80s as well. you just went really pixelated then.
I don't know how I managed to bring that back to Fantastic. I'm sorry. Let's
no,
move
but the
on.
thing is, you just literally just came up with a goldmine. Then that would have been a brilliant idea if you had like a 70s version of the Fantastic Four. That would have been great, like all top hats and suits and
top hats and suits.
I don't.
What?
You know what I'm talking.
Did you see First Class? How many top hats and suits did you see?
I'm thinking of like the 40s. Like.
You think you're like Victorian? I don't want to go that far back.
I was thinking of like those really fast talking cop things. Like, we got a motor weapon, but we haven't got the motive. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, but no, like, I think it would have been cool back when like everything wasn't as technologically advanced as it is now. But Reed Richards' mind is so advanced, he can come up with this stuff. Like, that would have actually been a really cool era.
And Doom's a blogger. Oh God.
See, he would have been a reporter back then.
Yeah, which is fine. But not like a keyboard warrior. I don't want them to go for like that sort. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about it again until the film's out. I
don't think we can like when August finally comes. I'm gonna say September to give it a cool down period as well. But I think it's gonna be like amazing when we finally get through a podcast without Fantastic ever coming up. Like, and you know what? I'm saying it so much now. Fantastic is just how I'm naturally saying it as well. Like
that's how it should be. That's what the poster says. The poster says Fantastic, and that's what I'll say.
I think I can actually count on one hand how many times I've actually said Fantastic Four throughout this podcast. But anywho, so this is I think that's we should slide on from that.
Is it time to introduce our new segment?
Yes, I think it is time indeed. So normally
I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm excited to hear your version of this. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do, but anyway. So we all normally at the end of the podcast, we give you guys like a question of the week, something for you to answer, and then we discuss your answers at the start of the next one. But Tommy had like this genius, this brainwave, this moment of clarity, has came up with something which is going to be far, far, far superior. So a little bit of backstory. When a couple of years ago, I can't remember exactly how long now.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but when we were at college, Tommy had this point of pride, this really unique talent, which was I could give him any film, any character, any director, producer, what have you, and he would always be able to link it back to Matthew Vaughn. Like, every time. It was uncanny.
I'm a fan. What can I say?
But it was uncanny. Like, you'd be like, give me 10 minutes. And he'd be silent. Like, we'd all be talking. And then he'd go, got it. Like, and it was all in his head as well. Like, it was amazing. But, so like, but basically,
if I've got IMDb in front of me, it's even quicker.
Oh yeah, much quicker. But so for anyone who doesn't know quite know what we're talking about, like if you've ever heard of the 7 degrees of separation, although I think now because of Facebook they've changed it to 6 degrees of separation because it's that much easier to link people. But it's basically a theory that any people in the world are linked to other people through 6 or 7, let's just say, other people. So like me and Bruce Willis could be linked together through the people that we know. Like I know this person who knows that person who knows that person who knows Bruce Willis. And that's basically our train of thought with this, that Tommy could link anyone back to Matthew Vaughn, linking through a certain amount of different people. And that's what we're going to do now instead of the question of the week. We have a already prepared question without a prepared answer to ask each other, and then we're going to come up with a question for you guys to answer in the comments, where basically you've got to try and link one celebrity or one film or one company to another one in as fewer people as possible. So why don't
you'll know exactly what you talk about once you hear us start doing it now.
So seeing as how Tommy is much better at this, I'm going to give my one to Tommy first for him to try and figure out. So
God, I'm nervous. You built me up a little bit too much. I'm worried the pressure's going to get to me now. I might choke.
Well, let's see if your ability to do this is as good as my vamping this. So my one for you is you have to try and get from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay.
To just go to start off with a bit of a classic nostalgia. Matthew Vaughn.
To Matthew Vaughn.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to Matthew Vaughn. How many steps can you do it in? I think the real challenge is just if it can be done. Like I think it can be, but like trying to just come up with stuff off the top of your head is really hard. So
I need to look up an actor's name.
What, have you not nearly got it already? Like
yeah, I've got it already.
Oh my god! See, like Tommy's gonna blow
it's a foreign
me.
name. Hold on, he's on Vikings.
You're gonna blow me out the water with this because I am awful at stuff like this.
Right, so Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was in Race to Witch Mountain.
Okay.
Right, it's out there already, isn't it? Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can do this in less.
Oh, so not only can you do it, you're actually trying to smash it in as few as you possibly can.
Oh, what's this actor's name? Right, let me just get Race to Witch Mountain up.
See, hopefully, if Future Dave is in any way competent, I've come up with like a map, like a graph on the screen.
Right,
to,
so
how quickly
Dwayne
you
"The
can
Rock"
do
Johnson is in Race to Witch Mountain with Alexander Ludwig. Alexander Ludwig is in Hunger Games with Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence is in X-Men First Class, which is directed by Matthew Vaughn.
There we go. It always went back to First Class as well. Fantastic. So how many steps was that? That was Witch Mountain.
Witch Mountain, Ludwig, Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence, First Class, Matthew Vaughn. 6.
That's 6. That's that's well done. 'Cause obviously, the start and end spot don't count. So yeah, 6.
I've already solved the one I've got for you, Dave, and it's a few more steps than that, but they're pretty big ones.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do. I'm all for these. So go on, lay it on me.
Right.
See if I can do this.
Since you're the Spider-Man guy,
Okay, you put my Spider-Man knowledge on the spot again.
I want you to link Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield.
Well, could I do this? I was going to say this could be really cheap, because
You're allowed IMDb up in front of you.
Well, because the main reason I was going to say this was because I believe Stan Lee's a producer on all of them. Or is he not? Is that why you're?
That's a good point.
I might have smashed this.
I think we'll exclude that and we'll exclude Fiat.
No, because I have just.
No, come on.
Because I've done it. I've literally done it. Where is it? Amazing Spider-Man. And there's Spider-Man. Yes!
No, Dave, you can't have that.
Oh, come on!
No.
That was
As commissioner of the Segue segment, I'm making a ruling.
Oh, I'm cool in jealousy. Like I just.
No Feige, no Stanley.
Fine. All right. Okay. So, Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield. Attempt to, I'll say. So that's the thing. I don't know, like how to like. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at the cast list right now, and I'm thinking, right, how can I link it through cast? I'm looking at people like James Franco. And I'm
Best thing you want to do, yeah, you want to find big actors who are in big films with other big actors. That's the way you're gonna do it.
Okay. Also, looking at this, it's completely irrelevant, but I just saw the name William Dafoe come up, and I realised there was a guy who was a spitting image of William Dafoe at the gym today, and they just it made me like, oh wait, no, I think I've got this.
You got it?
No, it's still a work in progress, but Tobey Maguire was in Spider-Man with James Franco.
Right.
Okay. James Franco was in. Oh man, he's been in a lot of stuff recently.
He's been in a lot.
Hell, yeah, he's been loads. James Franco was, if I can find the film, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. What's the name? World's End or End of the World?
Well, this is the end.
This is the end. I'm trying to... Wait, where is it on here? I'm trying to find it because I need to know the name of the actor that was in it. And I don't know... There it is. This is the end. Right, so Tobey Maguire was in Spider-Man with James Franco. James Franco was in This Is the End. This Is the End had... What's his name? Michael Cera in it.
Yeah.
And Michael... No, oh no,
Michael
God,
Cera.
no. Oh, damn it, I was getting Michael Cera mixed up with Jesse Eisenberg. Damn it. I thought I had that. I thought I had it. Because then he was in Social Network.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been a good one. Alright, well then, I've got no idea then. Wait,
Do you
no.
want Yeah.
Was Jesse Eisenberg, was he in Scott Pilgrim?
No.
Damn it. Well then, I don't know. I screwed up. I'm still saying my Spider-Man Stan Lee one.
Do you know what I've got?
Go on, go.
Right. Tobey Maguire was in The Great Gatsby with
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio, who was in Inception, which was directed by Chris Nolan, who
Yep.
also directed The Dark Knight, which had Heath Ledger in it. Heath Ledger was in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus with Andrew Garfield.
Man, like, how did you do that?
I had that one pre-prepared. I didn't do that one just in my head.
Oh yeah, I know, but still, even then, like, I'm sure you pre-prepared that in like a matter of seconds. So.
Read out the one I did the other day.
Oh yeah, so like, Tommy floated this idea to me like before we started the podcast, like about, I think it was like last week or something. He sent me one as like just a random one, just as an example, and he was like, oh yeah, as an example, what if we tried to list Audrey Hepburn with Vinnie Jones, like just as an example, and then sat there and went, I'm gonna do it. So
I was on the train to London to that premiere thing, and I gave like an example of like, yeah, we won't make it too hard, like Audrey Hepburn and Vinnie Jones, and then I was like, right, it's got to be done.
challenge accepted. So basically,
Yeah.
you came up with Audrey Hepburn was in Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was directed by Blake Edwards, who directed The Pink Panther, which starred Peter Sellers, who was in Doctor Strangelove, which was directed by Stanley Kubrick, who was also directed The Shining, which starred Jack Nicholson, who was in Batman, which was directed by Tim Burton, who was also directed Alice in Wonderland, which starred Anne Hathaway, who was also in Dark Knight Rises alongside Tom Hardy, who was in Rock and Roller, directed by Guy Ritchie, who also directed Snatch, starring Vinnie Jones. Bonus round, Snatch was also produced by Matthew Vaughn.
I just threw the Matthew Vaughn in there for you, man.
So man, oh, that's insane. Like,
Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing this every week.
and the thing is as well,
I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys put in the comments as well.
and I think as well, like what we can do is each week we'll see who wins, like who can do it in the if you can do it, who does it in the shortest amount of moves. So
Yes.
I still think I won with Stan Lee, but we're gonna say obviously because I couldn't do it without Stan Lee, then it's going to Tommy who was able to do it and I wasn't, and you did it in 6 steps. Each week, we're going to see who can do it in the least amount of steps. And you're going to win every week. But one week, I know, I believe in myself. I will pull another Stan Lee out the book. And I will rise to victory.
A wild card.
Yeah. So, basically, our question... well, it's not a question of a week. But we have one already prepared for you. And it's a bit of an easy one to get yourself started. Or at least it should be fairly easy. But basically, you in as few steps as possible, you have to try and link Chris Evans, who obviously plays Captain America, to Jared Leto, who is going to be playing the Joker. In as few steps as possible, try and link them two together. And also, who do you think is Stanley actually allowed?
No, rule him.
No, I stand by my army. I believe in them. But yeah, so Chris Evans is playing Captain America, and Jared Leto, who is playing the Joker. In as few steps as possible, how can you link them together? But yeah, so that was alright. It's been a bit of a shorter one than we normally do, but it's been a bit of a slow 2 week of news, really, isn't it? Not much has really gone down, so.
Yeah.
But
well, hopefully we'll have a bit more this week. You know, as we get closer to things, more things leak, things like that. You never know.
Yeah, hopefully, and hopefully I'll actually chill out at some point so my brain wakes up. Can't believe I couldn't come up with any chip puns. That's devastating.
As long as I don't ever bring up like teen heartthrobs again.
Well, it's gonna be a weekly thing now, just like Fantastic. Every time you bring them up, I'm gonna be like, and they never choose the nice guy. But yeah. So with that being said, is there anything you're up to this week, Tommy? Anything you want to just get out there and let everyone know about?
No.
No.
I mean, this is the usual stuff. You know, Schmotunes will be coming soon. Favourite film ever will be coming out soon. And as always, I'm on Twitter at Mr. TT Green, so you can ask me questions there.
Fair enough, fair enough. So, oh yeah, and also as well. Oh, there was a question that someone wanted me to ask you, and I've just remembered. But
Okay.
yeah, the reason why I just remembered this because in my captain's quarters, for anyone who doesn't watch it, it's just a weekly thing where I go through and I answer all your questions that you've been asking me that week. In that, there was a few for Tommy.
Ooh.
And they wanted me to ask you this, and I said to
Ask
them,
away.
I said to them, I was like, if I remember, I'll ask you. Like one in particular that made me chuckle, and I remember because you sent me a text with the picture of it as well. And basically, I was saying, if Tommy was a mutant, would I turn you in to the authorities, or would I use you for my own purposes or stuff like that? And I remember saying, the thing to myself, I was like. What? How awful do they think I am? And also, do they think I own you? Like, it was really weird. Like, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that cruel.
I appreciate that, Dave. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I just thought it was particularly odd. I was like, nah, man, I'd make Tommy be a superhero, and I'd be like a awesome sidekick or something like that.
Well, I'd probably hold like an audition for like my sidekick.
Oh.
I'd invite you to,
Do you know
audition.
your audition will be like who can link to Matthew Vaughn in the fewest steps? And like that's who would.
Possibly.
No, there was there was a load of questions last week, so I'm trying to find out. Oh yeah. One of them was so we get to see what Tommy looks like. So but I said.
I'm pretty sure you can see my picture on Twitter.
Well, I might have.
And you can follow me again. That's Mr. TT. I'm joking, but yeah.
But I might have encouraged him to stand outside your house. So apologies for that, I guess. But where was it? There's
I'll have
someone
to make another appearance in a captain's quarters one day.
Yeah, we might have to. Because I mean, that's technically the unofficial first episode of Segue City. Technically.
Yeah.
Was the
pilot episode.
Yeah, the captain's quarters like .5.
The lost episode. We have to delete it from YouTube.
Oh wait, no, I just found the one if they're asking if you're a mutant again. But I can't find it. Somebody asked me to ask you a question. I can't find what that question is now. That's irritating. Especially if that person's watching this as well, because they wanted me to ask you a question, and I've actually remembered to ask you, and then can't find the question.
Well, you've let them down. You've let me down, but most importantly, Dave, you let yourself down.
And I've just wasted like more time at the end of this podcast trying to find it. I should have really.
Yeah, we're trying to wrap up here, man.
I should have really had it prepared, but I just suck. Like.
There's always next time.
Yeah, and I'll probably remember to ask you, and then still haven't got it ready. So that's irritating. I know what's going to happen as well. Is like we're going to literally wrap this up, and we're going to end it, and I'm going to like press stop, and then I'm going to find it like seconds after we stop as well. That's what's so irritating. But damn, someone asked me to ask you a question as well. Oh well, I suck. So sorry guys. Sorry whoever it was who asked me to ask Tommy that. But anyway, so fair enough.
Why don't you ask it on comments in this video if you're listening?
Yeah, ask it again. Yeah, because that's the best thing. If you want to ask Tommy a question, I'm right in the comments of this thing. That's the best thing to do. But anyway, so yeah, so anything like any of Tommy's stuff, he's Smotoons, he's Twitter, he's greatest film there ever was ever, or I've just butchered the name of that. But all of that, his links are in the description below, so go check out all that stuff. It's a good time, and go over and give him my love on the Smotoon stuff as well, because he definitely deserves it, especially with the time and effort you put into the Star Wars stuff. Like you deserve the great comments for the amount of time you put into that. It's
29 hours well spent.
Oh man alive! Like, don't know how you did it, but yeah. So and been stuff. Check out all Tommy's stuff in the description below. As for me, the normal sort of stuff's coming. I know there's been quite a few delays in a lot of my videos recently. I'm sorry, I've been too busy to get them recorded, but I'm done with uni now. I can sit down and get them stuff. So hopefully this week it's already started back up. If it hasn't, then as of Monday and Tuesday we'll be having Skyrim, Walking Dead, Captain's Classics, good old Segue City, and rounding up the week with the Captain's Quarters as per usual. So with that being said, my name's Dave.
And I'm Tommy.
And my mind went completely blank there. So
should we restart?
No, man. I think it's just best we end before like my brain goes into complete meltdown. Like literally, I couldn't form an English language. Like, oh man. But anyway, we will catch you guys later.